Ever feel like you're doing all the right things and still wondering why your body feels off? You eat well, you train hard, your labs say you're fine, but deep down you know something's slipping. You're not alone and you're not crazy. I'm Daniel Rasmussen, founder of Echelon Center for Longevity, and I've spent 2 decades helping high performers like you to reverse aging, reignite vitality, and finally get answers. On Unbreakable Vitality, we go upstream. We talk peptides, stem cells, precision diagnostic testing, reversing the age of your arteries, all the innovative science-based tools to take back your health span so that your next decades are your best yet. Because aging is real, but decline is optional. Welcome back to Unbreakable Vitality. In our Peptide Spotlight series, this has been fun. We're diving into different compounds that don't just tweak the surface, they reprogram the system, essentially. Today's focus is 5-amino 1-MQ. This is a small molecule. It targets one of the most overlooked enzymes in metabolism, NNMT. So if you've ever felt like your metabolism is stuck, your energy is flat, fat loss just won't move, this one's for you, maybe, based on some diagnostic testing, of course. But as always, if you want to see how we personalize peptide stacks for maximum ROI and maximum rubber hits the road, moving the needle, then you need to come in and see real protocols. Contact us through our website at agelessfutureseattle.com. Our medical team is incredible. We love to just answer questions about peptides. We're all using them. We're on our own personal stacks, and we geek out on this stuff. So contact us if you need some guidance. All right, let's get into it. So here's the frustration we hear every day. I'm doing everything right. I'm eating clean. I'm training hard, and nothing's changing. That's not a motivation problem. That's often a biochemistry problem. Something's not balanced, or some things are, typically inflammation or a hidden infection are impeding progress. So first, after we rule out severe systemic inflammation and any infections, then we can launch into NNMT, nicotinamide and methyltransferase. So when NNMT is overactive, it diverts nicotinamide away from NAD. Why is that important? Well, that production of NAD is mitochondria function, basically, and it will push the production of NAD, and instead it will start making waste pathways in the mitochondria, which translates into less cellular energy, more fat storage, and slower metabolism at the cellular level. We're not talking about thyroid metabolism. We're talking about mitochondria metabolism. So high NNMT activity is associated with visceral fat accumulation, insulin resistance, low NAD, mitochondrial slowdown, chronic fatigue, and brain fog. All these things start cropping up and imperceptibly get worse over months to years. And so then you can be disciplined, but if NNMT is high, your system is literally programmed to conserve, not burn. This is where 5-amino 1-MQ comes in. It's very helpful for these segments of the population and individual cases. So it's a 5-amino 1-MQ basically is an inhibitor of NNMT. So it blocks that enzyme that's hijacking your metabolism. It's pretty phenomenal. So in preclinical and human data, inhibiting NNMT leads to increased NAD activity or availability for the mitochondria. That enhances mitochondrial function. That improves insulin resistance or insulin sensitivity, we should say. It reduces fat mass, particularly visceral fat. Think of it like rerouting traffic back to the highway that powers your cells. So this is a good thing. And especially when we combine it with other stacks that we've mentioned, like last week with the BPC 157, the TB 500, KPV, and GHK copper. This is phenomenal stacked together. In our clinical setting, we've seen clients who were indicated for these peptides who had plateaued for months, and they suddenly shifted. Their waist circumference drops pretty quickly within weeks. Their energy stabilizes. Fewer of those, 3 p.m. crashes in the afternoon. Their training output improves without increasing volume. A common pattern, is once NNMT is controlled, other interventions actually start working better or start working again. That anti-inflammatory, nutrition starts working better. The training starts working better. And even the other peptides will start working better. So, a safe dosage, a typical dose would be something like 50 to 100 milligrams oral daily. You can split those doses up 6 to 8 weeks per cycle. Best taken in the morning or midday to align with metabolic, demand. Now, stacking is where the art of this comes in. So if we say that, for example, if we pair MOTS-C with mitochondrial synergy, add some CJC, ipamorelin, growth hormone secretagogue in there for body composition and recovery, support it with NAD subcutaneous or intramuscular injections, microinjections on a 2 to 3 week basis, and even a mitochondrial IV drip, you got a powerful combination there. You need to put in a protein forward nutrition because your body is going to utilize a lot more protein with these peptides. And if you don't have the protein, your body can't do its repair and regeneration or reset. So post-meal walking is great for glucose control. Start getting that, go for I always say about 1,000 steps after dinner to get that immediate glucose dropped back down and soften the insulin surge. Then you need to think about resistance training to amplify the feedback signal on your body. You have to strain those muscles in order to get the signal back to the growth, repair, and recovery and regeneration. So we don't use 5-amino-1-MQ in isolation by itself. It's a part of a sequenced protocol. And that's where the art of this comes in, is timing and sequence. And let me tell you, it takes a lot of training and it takes a lot of cases, and the art of that takes a long time to suss out and flesh out. So, usually we're using it in our recharge phase after, the initial inflammation and drainage have been restored and addressed in the body. Because it's a fat loss buzz, the 5-amino-1-MQ is widely sold online as a research chemical, and that is a problem. Risks of gray market products, incorrect compound or impure synthesis, inconsistent dosing. You could get an underdose or an overdose. You could have some unknown fillers or contaminants in there. At Angelus Future, we only source from 503A and 503B compounding pharmacies. And we run baseline labs, insulin, lipids, CRP, just as an example. Our panels have almost 100 biomarkers in them that we're looking at. So it's never just isolated biomarkers. We're running comprehensive, longevity panels. And then we design the peptide stack based on what we see, how the biochemistry for that personal individual is. And then we deploy the treatment. And that's where we get great results. Then we start tracking the response, DEXA scans, metrics, symptoms, cycle appropriately on the peptides to maintain sensitivity. Precision beats price every time. If you're going to try to save a few bucks on a research peptide, you're taking the risk. I've talked to so many clients who've self-experimented, basically biohacking by ordering these research peptides. And not only are they not getting the results that they thought, but oftentimes we get their labs run. They come and they're just like, I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars just trying this peptide, trying that peptide, and I've really gotten nowhere. Like, I haven't felt the difference. And in fact, I feel a little bit worse. So we run their blood labs and oh my gosh, what a mess. It's all over the place. They're just biohacking with it's like driving down the road at midnight, pitch black, with no headlights, no dash lights to tell you instrument information. And not only that, you can't see the road. You're just totally flying blind. If there's one takeaway today, it's this. A single peptide is like, a guitar player. It can sound great on its own, but when you add bass and drums and vocals, now you've got music. You've got a band. That's how we think about longevity. There's no magic bullet. The magic is in the stack. It's in the art of the personalization of this. And our medical team designs these personalized peptide protocols based on advanced diagnostics and then matching them up with your specific goals. So each instrument plays in sync. So if you're ready to experience what a true orchestrated longevity plan looks like, join us at the next Ageless Future Longevity Summit in Seattle. Apply at agelessfutureseattle.com, and we hope to see you there. We're a fun group to work with. So next week, we're going to deep dive into tesamorelin, the visceral fat specialist with surprising cardiovascular and liver benefits. So I'll see you there.
If you're feeling like your energy, your edge, or your clarity just isn't what it used to be, you're not alone. But you're also not stuck. Every week on Unbreakable Vitality, we explore real strategies to reverse aging, reclaim vitality, and rewrite what's possible. If today's episode gave you even one insight, pass it on. Then go take the free vascular age quiz at echelon-longevity.com/quiz to see how your body's aging. Subscribe, leave a review, and follow us because your future isn't on autopilot. You are building it and you're just getting started.